As a senior hiker, I should let someone responsible know where I'm going and an anticipated time of being back. I should hike my own hike. If I'm taking medications with me on multi-day hikes, I should be taking extra medications. I should be having a physical checkup with my doctor periodically. Now, all these tips are relevant as a senior hiker, but I'm assuming that we've got older, but we haven't got dumber. So our life experiences through the decades have allowed us to be aware of those things and many others on the trail. One thing we should be aware of is age-related cognitive bias. Where we overestimate what we can achieve and we underestimate the time it will take us, could turn what was going to be a pleasant hike into an inconvenience, an uncomfortable feeling, or at the very worst, a real safety issue. The aging process is very subtle. On a daily basis, it's almost invisible. And from year to year, it can be really hard to notice. But that doesn't alter the fact that our health is gradually deteriorating. But eventually, the cumulative effects take their toll. If we've hiked enough miles over rocks and slippery surfaces, falls almost seem inevitable, and falls arguably cause the most injuries, not only for senior hikers but for hikers in general. But for senior hikers, we have to be even more aware of that. People over 65 around the home are more likely to fall and injure themselves. And that's on flat surfaces. So you can imagine on a hike, the risk of a fall go up greatly. If you come across boulders or difficult terrain in front of you, don't just bull on over those obstacles. Take your time and try and find an easier way around if you can. You may be able to go around that obstacle, but if you can't and you have to go across it, take your time and don't rush. If you do rush, that's when you're going to have more problems. Pay close attention to your calorie intake, particularly if the physical exertion on your hike is greater than the norm that you're used to. You will need to consume more calories than usual to keep up your energy and fitness. Now sometimes when you've been hiking all day, you're going to get fatigued. You get fatigued when you're young, of course. As a senior hiker, you're going to get that sense of fatigue. I know I have, where you feel absolutely exhausted. It's not just a tiredness, it's real fatigue. And some hikers lose appetite to go with that, and they don't eat as much as they should. I've been on a hike where I was so fatigued, at the end of the day I just put my tent up, crawled inside and went to sleep. And that's just not good, because you're not keeping up your calorie intake. So that's something that you should really concentrate on, is to keep your calorie intake up. And at the end of the day, even if you do feel fatigued and you just feel like crawling in your sleeping bag and going to sleep, don't. Make sure you have a high calorie meal before you turn in. Take a sleeping system with you that allows you to get a good night's rest. Also, have enough insulation with you in that system that's going to keep you warm, because as we get older, it's harder to keep warm. Myself, I take an aspirin every day, so to keep my blood thin, and that causes me to feel the cold. So I have to have a warm sleep system, and I'm sure many older hikers fall into that category. Reduce pack weight if you can. That sounds counterintuitive, because as an older hiker, we may be hiking slower, so we're going to have more consumables, more food, more gas bottles, or whatever else we cook with. That's just inevitable. It's not fair that we need that because we hike slower. To get around that, we can do shorter hikes, or if we still want to do longer hikes, multi-day hikes, we have to allow for more supply points for our consumables. Add some slack time on your hike. Don't commit yourself to a really tight schedule. Allow some bailout points as well, just in case you have to revive your itinerary and you need to get off the trail sooner than what you thought. And the last point I wanted to bring up was this Garmin satellite communication system that I have on today. Now, it's fantastic for texting your loved ones and keeping in contact, and it's got an SOS button on it as well if you need help. If you have this with you, you can call for help to get you out when you need to. Don't use it that way. Always prepare properly and take the right gear with you. Don't leave anything to chance and take chances or risks in any way because you know you have this on board. Just don't do that. Okay, Hike and Seeker signing out. Give the video a thumbs up and take care. I hope to see you again soon. Goodbye.